Mr. Pankaj Patel, thank you very much for hosting us, and this is your 20-acre research and development facility. So let's start with a little bit of a brief on that. Tell us more about your facility.
So this research facility, which is located here, is known as Zydus Research Center. It is focused on the new chemical entity research. So whole facility takes care of all the kind of research requirement for new chemical entity research. It would mean that from in silico developing a molecule concept to ultimately doing the phase 1 clinical study, we can do it in this facility. So we have basically focused on creating a world-class facility with all kind of capabilities in terms of either it's an animal testing, whether it's chemistry, it's analytical chemistry, whether it's in vitro biology, formulation development, first in man study, all the facility exists here. The uniqueness of this facility is that a facility at one place which can do everything. That basically helps in better collaboration and talking with each other in scientists in different disciplines. So the NC research is usually a teamwork, and this teamwork is achieved through this one big facility with all the people at one place. The other uniqueness of this facility is this is the first facility in India in private sector which has also capability of doing study in primates. So apart from large animals, we also do study here in primates, which is the only facility in private sector in India.
You know, but Mr. Patel, while that point is taken, there's one criticism about Indian pharmaceutical companies as opposed to their counterparts in the US and Europe, that we're not that capable when it comes to R&D as compared to the others. We're good at generics, but not as good in terms of R&D. Why is there a lack, or why is there a difference between us and the rest?
I think we started much later than most of the industry. If you look at the top of the pharmaceutical company globally, they have history of 100+ years. Our industries have maybe history of 50 years or around 50 years. And I think we started from scratch, and as a result, initially our focus was to develop formulation, then we went into bulk drug, then we went into value-added generics, and now we were moving into NCEs and other areas. I think that it's a kind of a path of development. People believed that India cannot make a tablet or a liquid or injection in 1950s. It is no longer a truth. People believed India cannot make APIs. India became the API capital of the world. People believe that Indian products cannot be sold in every market. Today we sell in every country in the world. So I think it's the question is, we need time, and it is a learning exercise that we can actually achieve. I don't think the way the scientists, if you go to any pharmaceutical company globally, and you look at the list of the people, about 30% of people are Indian origin. So there is no reason why Indian scientists cannot develop drugs.
So currently R&D is around 7 to 8% of your sales. Say by 2020, how much will it possibly be?
We would remain at that range. Our goal has been initially from the beginning is to, we are relatively small company from a global size point of view. And it's very important for us to ensure that we optimize and take advantage of India fully. India advantage, India cost advantage, Indian capital advantage is a big advantage we all have in India. And how do we maximize it? And that's why you see this big facility here, that we can do everything in-house. We don't have to outsource, and as a result we can keep our cost lower. So at the same time, while we want to do everything, we want to ensure that we do not overspend on something which is not to be spent, and make sure that everything is done in a reasonable cost. And that is what we have achieved here. So we believe that this exercise which we have created, of creating a kind of a model by which we can do research in a very disciplined way. There are very clear stage gates set up in every research project to make sure that we stop a project if we feel that at that stage we have not reached a goal. We also make sure that whatever we do is done in a cost optimized way.
Okay. One of the key diabetes molecules that you managed to launch in the Indian markets is Lipiglin. What is the state in terms of revenues in India for that particular molecule, and how are you scaling it up in the US and other regulated markets particularly?
So in India, the drug has received a very good response from the medical fraternity. Today there are about 300,000 patients who are already consuming this drug, and the drug is doing very well in the Indian market and growing rapidly. We have also started phase 2 study in US, where we are basically doing study in dyslipidemia, hyperdyslipidemia area. We are also initiating a study very soon on NASH. We also are starting another study in US for hyper liver diseases, and so on and so forth. So I think the whole game plan is to really bring these drugs to the world. Apart from US, we are also bringing this drug to other market, and I think we believe very strongly that this drug has a very good promise and future to offer to the world.
One of the key focus areas for you has been transdermals, where you have around 5 ANDAs which you filed for in the US, plus one which you acquired from Teva very recently as well. What is the progress when it comes to transdermals in particular?
So we are close to approval. We cannot give a specific timeline, but we have reached to a stage that we should be having approvals of few products in a short period of time.
Before we get to the US markets and talk a little more about that, you also have signed up for maybe researching anti-malarial as well as something for chikungunya. So when can we expect something? Because there are millions of people in India right now who are either suffering from dengue or chikungunya or something to do with mosquitoes.
I think one of our goal is also to basically, while being a research-based pharmaceutical, making sure that we do something meaningful for our people in India. And I think you rightly said is that these are the major issues we all face today. So our work has been going on a fast speed, both in the area of dengue and chikungunya, and we are in the clinical trial phase.